Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bruce the Moose with the Bruce the Moose Show. Today, we are doing a quick video to read through the mini minutes for the Owens v. Maricini DVRO renewal case that took place earlier this week. Now, of course, the hearing was cut short, both of the 2 days that the hearing was scheduled for. And that was the cause of a lot of drama. We are going to try to wrap our heads around it here for a few moments. It's almost the magic hour, so the sun is doing interesting things in my new home office. The painters are scheduled, guys. This room is getting painted, and then we will have wall decor. And the ambiance and the acoustics will be improved. I will be able to find my nice dynamic microphone. We will get back to quality pro audio as per Dave Neal's directive, as always. But in the meantime, let's get into these mini minutes for the DVRO renewal in the Owens v. Maricini case. The first mini minute document, sent to me by Just Jen, thank you very much, is for 10/21/2025. We have notice of cause, notice of hearing to renew restraining order filed by Laura Owens. All remote appearances are conducted through Zoom, a video platform. This is interesting because I think they were using Teams in Arizona, and this case is happening in California, and they're using Zoom. Zoom, a video platform, not to be confused with the audio company or some other company, I guess. In accordance with San Francisco Local Rules of Court Rule 11.7, Section D, subsection 4, petitioner present by video on Zoom and in pro per. So that was Miss Owens. She was on Zoom and without counsel representing her. Omar Raul Serrato present in court with respondent, respondent being Mike Maricini, and Omar Serrato, of course, being the tilted lawyer representing Mike. Matter is on calendar for petitioner request to renew restraining order against respondent. And remember, guys, this is a lifetime renewal. This is not a 1 year, 2 year, 5 year restraining order. This is forever. So it's a big deal. The court notified the parties that there is no court reporter available for today's proceeding and that we are not sure if court reporter will be available for tomorrow's trial. Wow. Respondent waived the court reporter. Now, my question is there audio recording of all this? Is there audio and video recording of all this? Will those be able to be available to the public through a request and payment? Because it would be interesting to see the video footage or at least hear the audio of these hearings. Now, the court reporter, of course, would be important for a transcript, for appellate purposes, and for deeper analysis of precise language. So we want a court reporter there, but apparently there was no court reporter available. Petitioner inquired about the options. Yeah, I think Laura was on Zoom. She's just trying to figure out how to not have this thing happen at the time. So if there's a way to get this thing postponed because the court reporter's not there, she's going to want to take advantage of that. That's my assumption. But we don't even get that far because the court admonished petitioner that she was previously ordered to be present in person for today's trial. Petitioner stated that she filed an expedited motion for continuance and stated that it would be life-threatening for her to travel. And I don't know. What does that mean, life-threatening to travel? Really? That is a very strong, substantial claim. And it's a non-trivial claim. And to me, I believe claims when there is sufficient evidence. And when there is a non-trivial claim, I need non-trivial evidence. So if you tell me that you have a few bucks in your wallet, I'm probably just going to believe you because it's not uncommon for people to have a few bucks in their wallet. But if you tell me there's a unicorn in your garage, I'm going to want to see the unicorn and really validate that that's happening. Okay, what's going on here? Is it a piñata? Is it Lauren Knighty in a unicorn costume? What's going on, you know? So the court notes that her motion is improper and not before the court today. And this is, guys, this is what happens when you go pro per. You write improper motions. This is why you have to have counsel. But of course, counsel is expensive, so it's a double-edged sword. All right, not before the court today and not for the court to consider. The court explained the ex parte process to shorten time for a motion to continue trial. Very good. Okay, having no court reporter. The court continues matter tomorrow, October 22nd, 2025. Okay, so the judge is basically saying, we don't have a court reporter here. It's important to have a court reporter. The petitioner's not even here. Let's proceed tomorrow, October 22nd, 2025. Court reiterated prior order and ordered both parties are ordered present and in person tomorrow. And we have heard that the judge verbally ordered the respondent and petitioner to be there in person while witnesses could be on Zoom. Now, there is a minute entry that says strongly suggests, but where I come from, when you have two seemingly conflicting sets of instructions, you go with the more conservative one, you go with the stricter instruction, which in this case is to appear in person. Imagine if you were in middle school or high school and the teacher said, hey, I strongly suggest you stay after class for a few minutes. That's not a suggestion. That's effectively a mandate. So that's where we are. The court stated that petitioner has option to appear tomorrow in person and proceed with the trial or dismiss her request. Okay, so the judge is saying you can do A or B. You can appear tomorrow in person and proceed with the trial or dismiss your request. A or B. The court notes that this court will not extend or continue requests to renew restraining orders with an indefinite period. Yeah, you can't just keep extending or delaying this hearing because that's not fair to the respondent. The respondent is supposed to be afforded the due process here of responding to the restraining order request. Okay, court confirmed appearances of people on Zoom. Attorney David Gingras and petitioner's treating nurse practitioner, Colleen. Okay, so we have a nurse practitioner and David Gingras. And note that this nurse practitioner is not on the witness list. These are just people on Zoom. Now, David Gingras is on the witness list, but this nurse practitioner is not, at least so far. We'll see if there's any future motions on this. The court will set additional trial date tomorrow if needed. Matter not reported. So they're saying if they need more than one day, as they had originally planned to have 2 days, they would schedule another day after October 22nd. Who knows when that would be? That could be days, weeks, months away. So that was disappointing news to hear. Matter not reported. Okay, let's go to the next day. So then we come back on 10. Let me find my window. Where's my mouse? Anton, enhance. Let's go to the next day. This is 10/22/2025. Nature of cause. Notice of hearing to renew restraining order filed by Laura Owens. Petitioner's request for accommodations. Okay, so we have an interesting footnote or subtitle here. Petitioner's request for accommodations, which was the theme of the second day. All remote appearances are conducted through Zoom, a video platform in accordance with San Francisco local rules of court. Okay, very good. Petitioner present by video on Zoom and in pro per. So the judge got to talk to petitioner Laura Owens. Before the trial, the court held an in-camera hearing regarding petitioner's request for accommodation. Interesting. The court acknowledged receipt of email on 10/21/2025, that's the day before, regarding petitioner's request. The court notes that request is improper and untimely. Oh no. So Laura is just sending email to the judge here the night after the first day. And the judge is saying this is not the proper procedure. However, the court exercised her discretion to hear the request in camera, not reported, and other party and public were excluded. So this means the judge talked to petitioner Laura Owens alone. The public was not there, and the other party, meaning Omar Serrato and Mike Maricini, were also not there. After hearing the petitioner, the court allowed respondent and counsel in the courtroom, and this part of the proceeding was reported. Okay, so after talking to Ms. Owens, the judge brought in Omar and Mike into the courtroom, but not the public or anybody else. Having reviewed and considered petitioner's statement and request based on reasonable accommodation request, the court grants a brief continuance of the trial. So apparently, Laura Owens, in this email and in this conversation with the judge, made a statement and a request for reasonable accommodations, and the judge granted a brief continuance, which means the trial will be scheduled in the future. This matter is continued to November 5th, 2025 at 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Department 405A, courtroom to be determined. The court ordered petitioner to be in San Francisco and to be in the courthouse in person for the trial. So no more of this show up on Zoom business. She has to be there in the courthouse in person. Petitioner understood. Okay, that's good. Both parties are ordered present. All right, so Mike and Laura. Court notes that continuance is based on reasonable request for accommodation and not a motion to continue trial that respondent can oppose. Okay, so this is a reasonable request for accommodations. My understanding is this is based on the Americans with Disabilities Act. The ADA is the umbrella under which she's making this request. That doesn't seem to be written here, but that's my understanding. And, throughout these cases, the original issues with Maricini, the issues with Greg Gillespie, the issues with Clayton Eckert and Dave Neal, that Ms. Owens, these court issues that Ms. Owens has been involved in, I mean, I can imagine a litany of things she might claim are ADA-related disabilities. For example, disabilities you might report to an employer for consideration in the workplace. This could be previously having cancer, alcohol or substance abuse disorders, even having celiac disease, epilepsy or other seizure disorders, GI disorders, mental health conditions, including depression, bipolar, anxiety, schizophrenia, or PTSD, neurodivergence, including autism disorder spectrum or autism spectrum disorder, traumatic brain injury, or TBI. And this isn't even a complete list, but this is a list of things that I saw on a separate list of things that an employer might look at. And these were the ones I thought she could potentially be calling out here. We don't know what she's calling out. I'm just saying that given all of the litigation we've seen in the past and the claims made in those litigation activities, as well as things like medium.com blogs, podcasts, and other interviews, I would not be surprised if one or more of these was used to obtain this reasonable request for accommodation. Restraining order shall remain in effect until the next hearing on November 5th, 2025. So as of today, it's 10/23/2025, the day after, as it were, and we are going to wait until November 5th. This is about 2 weeks, and that's what we've got. The court shall prepare order to reschedule hearing to renew restraining order. The court will set additional trial date at the next hearing. Okay, so they have a hearing on November 5th. I guess if they need additional trial date on November 5th, they'll schedule that as well. So again, it may not be a strict 2-day November 5th and 6th. They may say, we're going to get everything done on November 5th, or they may say, we made a lot of progress on November 5th. We're going to schedule another day. It's going to be in the future, and who knows when that will be. So that is what we are looking at and waiting for here with respect to this DVRO renewal in the family of lawsuits related to the original Owens v. Eckert paternity case brought against Clayton Eckert, former ABC bachelor. And that's where we are, guys. It's just, there's a lot going on. There's the criminal case of the state of Arizona against Laura Owens that we need to keep track of and keep our eye on. There is the petition for bankruptcy that her parents filed that we're keeping an eye on. And we'll see if anything else happens. If Dave Neal from the Rush Hour podcast is interested in attending this hearing on November 5th and needs any assistance with travel or accommodations, then I will do everything in my power to make sure that he is able to attend. That is my promise to you, the audience. And if you have stuck around this long, thanks for watching. This has been a reading of the mini minutes for October 21 and October 22, 2025. I am Bruce the Moose. This is the Bruce the Moose Show, coming to you from the home office in Wisconsin. Talk to you later.